Number 26. The trait of intellectual humility. Blasting caps are made of HEI. The fourth trait, intellectual humility, is like the intellectual standard of clarity. Remember that clarity was the gateway standard. Well, intellectual humility is the gateway trait. Without intellectual humility, the rest of the intellectual traits, or you can also think of them as intellectual virtues, don't really matter. You can never achieve them. What is intellectual humility? It is the recognition of the limits of your own knowledge. You know what you know. You also know what you don't know. It's a recognition of that. It's also a recognition of that which you can know and that which you cannot know, that which is impossible for you to know. In terms of critical thinking, humility doesn't mean subservience. The word humility is based upon the Latin root word humus, which means earth, soil. To practice intellectual humility, it means to be grounded, honest, real, and true. You can see immediately why intellectual humility is so important for the critical thinker. It grounds you and gives you a place to start. You might start with the aspects that you don't know, or the aspects that you do. The opposite of intellectual humility is intellectual arrogance. This is the self-deceptive belief that you know more than you really do. The intellectually arrogant are grounded in error. It is impossible for them to think critically about that which they are self-deceived. Intellectual arrogance is actually dangerous to you. It is a weakness, a blind spot. There are none so vulnerable to manipulation as those who sincerely believe they know more than they actually do. You must know and understand what your limitations are, what you don't really know. If you are self-deceived, you're an easy mark for manipulators. As an example, I'm reminded of an episode from Andy Griffith. The deputy, Barney Fife, tried to impress a group of men belonging to an exclusive club. When the conversation turned to golf, Fife's remarks showed that he was pretending he could play. He actually understood very little about it. Fife thought that the higher the score, the better you were doing. Real golfers know that the opposite is true. Now, this was just something funny in a fictional show. It resulted only in some laughs. No real harm done. But in the real world, the games are for keeps, and thinking you know more than you actually do can cost you plenty. The unscrupulous will take you for all you're worth. The intellectually arrogant will never understand what hit them. Stay grounded. Stay true. Understand your limitations. Be aware of that which you don't know, and be honest about that lack of knowledge. If you're unsure, check. Intellectual humility is the gateway trait to critical thinking. It is impossible to be a critical thinker without it. In the next presentation, number 27 of 34, I'll cover intellectual empathy.